This is my 2001 Dodge Ram 3500 Dually. It is not a $100,000 fully loaded platinum Laramie, God knows what. No, this is bare bones farm truck, and I love it. However, if you've spent any amount of time behind the wheel of an old car or truck on the daily for years on end, you know there's some compromises. While in many ways old cars seem to check a box for car and truck enthusiasts, there's a lot of drawbacks, primarily creature comforts. So, on this episode of watching a random guy on the internet turn his farm truck into less of a farm truck, welcome, my name is Josh, and today we are going to take the interior of my truck from this very sad looking eBay two-tone seat match black on not quite same matching rear seat to kind of the same color. I'm doing all this because this truck is actually brand new to me. I've been on the hunt for one of these dualies forever in a 4x4 long box and a manual 6-speed, and I finally found a truck worth buying. I had a two-wheel drive short box for years and years on end, and it was my workhorse, hauling cars around and dailying me to work and back nearly every single day. However, being two-wheel drive and not really the truck I really wanted to keep long-term, I finally found the truck I was looking for that wasn't completely rotted. And that's why I'm going to the extent that I am, because this truck is going to stay with me and my family until I die. So, with all of that said, let's get into this. These trucks are so barbarically simple. The running joke with them is that it's a 1,000,000-mile motor in a 100,000-mile truck. And after having been driving one for years on end, I can tell you there is no truer statement. The last thing you're buying a second-gen Ram for is its interior quality. The door cards are basically Kinder Toy plastic. The dash will explode if your girlfriend puts her feet on it. And the seats, they're merely a suggestion. The last thing they are is comfortable. So if there was ever a truck that needed a little bit of help on the interior, it's this one. We are not going to get this to the creature comfort quality of a brand new truck, but I certainly am going to make an effort to try.
Okay, I pulled up that trim, and at first glance, this floor I knew wasn't perfect, but I'm scared to pull the carpet up now. What do we think, Cookie? How's this gonna go? This is gonna be bad. I just know it. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh no. That's the ground. Oh my gosh. This is a lot worse than I would have expected. Damn. Holy. Wow. Okay. Do I have some work to do? I'm gonna sit you guys up on the tripod.
Now the beauty of the internet is that I don't need to disclose exactly how I repaired that floor, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that it looked like Chip Foose himself cut out that floor and welded in some new parts. You would never know that there was rust of any kind in that floor, and we're just going to say that that's how it looked. Okay, moving on. The passenger side was actually in very good shape. There's a lot of surface rust from actually bad door seals. The floor from the bottom was perfect and all the moisture was inside the cab. So we'll revisit the weather sealing situation a little bit further in, but I was able to grind all of that down and get it ready for paint with a whole bunch of proper paint to actually prep and seal this as much as possible. With the cab completely stripped and down to bare metal except for the dash coming out, it was time to do some sound deadening. If you've never used this stuff before, it really works well. Obviously some applications are better than not, but I've used this in a few previous builds that I've done, and it's a pretty noticeable acoustic difference, not just because of the general quietness, but because you get a little bit more of a deepened uniform sound. It just sounds like it's more structurally intact. It's kind of interesting. Obviously the windows are still going to be the same windows they were before, and it's still a poor weather seal design, so we're not going to have an ultra quiet cab, but it does make a pretty big difference. If you spend any amount of time on the forums or online trying to research which one of the products you should be buying in terms of sound deadening, it is a hotly debated topic as to which one is the best. And I had a variety that I used here because I had leftovers from some previous BMWs that I built, and then I bought some kill mat as well because it was on sale on Amazon. It all kind of seems the same to me, and to have any real measurable difference is going to be pretty difficult to actually argue. So the whole bottom of my floor is multicolored of different kinds of sound mat because ultimately this is all going underneath a new carpet. However, I did try to be as thorough as possible, so I took the door cards off, the speakers out, the plastic weather sealing off the doors, and I fully lined the inside of the door skins, the back of the door structure, as well as the face, and even did all around behind the speaker grills and all those areas so that any kind of vibrations and reverberations from the sound system wouldn't resonate too much on the very sheet metal-esque sounding doors that this truck has. It was at this point I started getting pretty excited because new parts were going in. I ordered an ACC carpet off Rock Auto, and this went better than I would have thought. Considering this is one of the cheaper options for a mass backing carpet, it's actually fit up pretty good. So what they don't really tell you is that they don't cut the edges whatsoever. You're left with anywhere from 4 inches to an entire foot of excess material all the way around the carpet. So you really need a buddy to get in there, and that's where my boy Luca really came through and spent a good couple hours with me laying this all out, finding the key positioning holes for some of the seat structures, bolts going through, and then we just really slowly kind of massaged the carpet and got it to a point where we were pretty content with where it looked, and then started cutting and made sure that we were cutting with a little bit of excess because it always comes up a bit shorter than you'd expect. I found a steering wheel cover at Canadian Tire for $19 that I actually didn't completely hate, and it made the old steering wheel look like it wasn't as old, so I ran with it. If you've never heard of Crutchfield Audio, I highly recommend you check out their website. They have a US and a Canadian site, and they have been so helpful in all of my projects to find speakers and audio systems that work for my cars. Listed on their website was this set of kicker speakers that were highly rated as being pretty effective for pretty decent bass and designed to complement a sub that was going to go in the truck as well. I rated their site for information and reviews, and it just made the whole process so simple. I switched over the connectors from the factory door speakers that were very brittle and damaged over to some new connectors, plumbed in the speakers, and the truck was ready for some more audio. One thing that helps a lot with interior cabin noise with these trucks, and I noticed on my past, was just installing new door clips for the door panel. The amount of times that these door panels have probably been off for window regulators and service and wiring issues, considering it's a Dodge, is probably a pretty high count. So I ordered some genuine new Mopar clips, and the door cards lock right on, and I haven't had any issues with rattling thus far. I repeated the same process that I did on the fronts on the rear. I went through and cleaned the inside of the doors, did as much kill mat on the inside skin as I could, just on top of the lower crash bar that's inside the doors, skinned all around the speakers to eliminate as much of the vibration and frequency into the door as I could, and it was all ready for assembly. With all the sound deadening complete, rust repaired, carpet in, it was really starting to feel like the home stretch. I got the call that my new reupholstered seats had just come in, and I had to wait one more day before pickup, so I turned my attention over to the instrument cluster and the new updated dash bezel panel. The instrument cluster on this truck was filthy. They don't have a gasket around them, so all the years of farm use and poor air conditioning ventilation had this thing filthy. So it's really simple to take apart and just get that clear panel off of the cluster so that I could clean all the gauge faces, polish the clear finish, and then reinstall it. If you've spent any amount of time in a car that's fairly new that has Apple CarPlay, it is life-changing to have all of that integrated into the dash and seamless. So I ordered a generic fit doubled-in display and then ordered a matching doubled-in bezel that's made for this truck off Amazon. It's $100-something bucks, and it gets rid of the factory square for the radio on these trucks and upgrades it to a flush doubled-in. And it looks like a factory option. It's a very, very tidy solution compared to the old cutaway kits. I had to do a lot of wiring to convert over the original harness of the truck and actually made use of an old adapter I had so that I wasn't touching the truck side wiring, and got everything adapted so that the double-in would slot right in after quite a bit of plastic machining of the original dash. With all the really finicky work out of the way, the dash was all back together, and I could finally install my new interior. And there you have it, a second gen that's still a second gen, but not nearly as old. I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I have to give a huge thanks to TrimTech Interiors out of Oshawa. This is a cat skin leather interior that they customized for me and did an awesome job installing. The seats are all heated up front, all the wiring's integrated beautifully. Their install was fantastic, and this truck turned out exactly how I wanted it. My only regret with all this is that I didn't do a decibel reading before and after. It is a dramatic difference from what it was before. It is still a truck, it's still going to be a little loud inside, but it is very livable. I've turned this truck into my project hauler. I've driven it all over Ontario. It's going to go down to the States this winter, and it is a very pleasant place to be for being an old, small cab truck. If you've made it this part of the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope this inspires you to take on some projects yourself and just get your hands dirty and make it happen. If you like more content like this, subscribe to my channel. I'm building BMWs, trucks, Mustang, everything under the sun because I have an addiction to shitboxes. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and God bless.